Why is your mind swinging between thoughts of past regrets and anxiety about the future instead of staying in the present moment? To stop this negative momentum of your mind, you need to surrender to inner being and realize God within yourself. If you don't like the word God, you can replace it with being, higher self, kingdom of heaven, universe, awareness, etc. Whatever you like to call it. In this video, you will learn how to experience God by surrendering your mind inward and letting that higher power use your mind-body instrument for its purpose. So the universe can use you to manifest its purpose. Once you know how to surrender within, you will realize your inner peace and become free from all day-to-day suffering. Then your life will flow very smoothly without your mind unnecessary judgments and dysfunctional thinking. So there are 7 ways to realize God and enter the present moment that no one tells you explicitly. Now, first 5 methods are spiritual gateways and the last 2 are physical gateways. I'll explain to you what does that mean. From the first 5 gateways, you need only to use one gateway. Last 2 physical gateways you can use all the time. Now, first spiritual gateway, we can call it rest in being. If you are on a spiritual path, this is the only way you require and nothing else. This is the end of all your seeking and search. You need to surrender your mind to inner being. Surrender your mind to just inner being by letting your attention go within. One of the greatest enlightened sages, Ramana Maharshi, in ancient scriptures, said that our spiritual heart is slightly on the right side of the chest, here, and is the center of our being. So the physical heart is on the left side. The spiritual heart differs from the physical heart and is the seat of spiritual experience. This spiritual heart is consciousness or awareness. The spiritual heart is not an organ you locate physically. It is the source of life itself. And one can only be aware of its real nature by being it. The spiritual heart is being or God or Atma, whatever you call it, is the essence of the whole universe. Now don't try to locate the spiritual heart with the mind's concentration on the right side of your chest, like this. The spiritual heart is beingness, awareness, and it's everywhere. Everywhere. If you want to abide in the spiritual heart, you just let your attention rest in your inner chest, which is here, all the time, while engaged with the world. Now, how do you rest your attention in the inner chest? While doing worldly activities, you need to keep 80% attention on your inner chest, that is here. As long as you stay rooted in your chest while interacting with the world, you will be like a tree, deeply rooted in the earth, or a ship that is anchored in the seabed so the storm will not destroy it. You can increase putting your attention inward with practice while engaging with the world. At least start first with 50% of attention anchored inside your chest. Start with 50% and increase to 80% until you fully surrender within. Once you are not doing anything on the outer level, keep 100% of your attention inside. Now, this is the most significant spiritual practice. Once you sincerely practice this, no spiritual practice, scripture, or guru is required. Try it. As while resting in your being, you are one with the God all the time. Now see, Iron Man is very unlucky. He has a small finite source that can exhaust any time, but you are very lucky. I am very lucky. We have this eternal and infinite source within us that has limitless potential. And you can just anchor your attention inside anytime in form of surrender. But remember this, your mind will create noise that without full attention to the outside world, you will not be able to perform on an optimal level. But the opposite is true. By keeping your mind on God, which is your being, God will be the doer of all your worldly activities. Your mind then will not be the doer. The God will use your mind-body instrument to manifest whatever you require in this lifetime. Now, then, the universe will act through you to manifest His purpose. Now you see, God leaves nothing undone. The ordinary man is always doing things, yet many more are left undone. Again, keeping a minimum 50% of attention in your inner chest while engaged in the world will ground you and connect you to the inner divinity. With this practice, your mind will not be successful in making you identified with thousands of things of the world. Due to that, you will not get lost in the world. You see, the greatest myth of living in the present moment is, now this is a myth. Living in the present moment is attending to outer people and circumstances in a focused way and relishing all mind's pleasures by being fully engrossed in them. This is a myth. So you usually keep your mind outward instead of retaining inward into your being. True? This is what you do, right? But the truth is, living in the present moment is first realizing divinity within and then engaging with the world from that divinity. Authentic living in the present moment is the awareness and feeling realization of the inner being. When you become aware of the being becomes aware of itself. When being becomes conscious of itself, that's presence. And only then you will be able to establish yourself in the present moment without swinging in the past and the future. Past and the future. Past and the future. Hence, the most crucial thing is to retain your mind inward, within you, into your being, and let it rest in your being. Also means connecting first with God within while doing your worldly duties. Now, the second gateway is breathing I am. Now, you see, sometimes your mind is in tremendous momentum of thoughts, so it's hard to surrender within. It's jumping like monkey everywhere. So, you need to first calm your mind by this practice of I am. So you say, I am silently. Say I taking in breath, taking in one breath, and I am taking out breath. Just breathe from your nose, not from your mouth. So it's like this. I taking in breath and taking out breath. Just from your nose, not from mouth. And say I am silently within yourself. Don't say it with your mouth. I am. I, one in breath, am, one out breath, silently through your nose. What this practice will do it will ground you like a tree to its roots, so you get essential nourishment. So once this practice grounds you in your being, you are aware, you are conscious. The consciousness is your nourishment. Then go inward and rest in your being as shown in the first method. Please do see the first method which I described before. Now let's come to the third gateway. The third gateway is conscious doing. Now, as we already discussed in the first method, by surrendering inward, we become conscious. Now our being, that is God, will be the doer of all our worldly activities because we are connected within and not our mind. God will use our mind-body instrument to manifest whatever you require. Then the universe will act through you to manifest its purpose. We already discussed that, right? Now in conscious doing, you are intensely present with whatever you do. So if you are doing any work, let's say you are doing $1 million deal, or you are washing clothes, or you are washing the dishes, or you are changing your child's nappy. Be fully conscious by first putting your mind inward in being, and secondly putting it on the outer task, so the joy is flowing from you to the task. So the first focus on God with it and then attend worldly activities. Then just be one with any job you take in your hand. Now you see, we have this myth, and the myth says that enjoyment comes from outside activity. No, the enjoyment is coming from within you. It's coming from within you towards that activity. The joy is coming from within, from your being. So when you enjoy something, you are pouring your joy towards that activity. And that joy is coming from within you. And you can only enjoy when you are conscious. So just be conscious, let your attention anchored on your chest, and from that attention, by being grounded in the present moment, bring the joy from you and put into that task. Then the task will be performed beautifully. Whenever you are doing any work by being conscious, please understand that you are not the doer, but God is the doer through you. Also, you enjoy any process without getting attached to the result or fruit of your action. Just offer the fruit of your efforts to God. This way of doing work is also called Karma Yoga. So we come to the fourth gateway, which is surrender and acceptance. This fourth way of surrender is allowing and accepting everything outside of yourself. On outer level, you allow and accept everything as it is. Something comes outside of you. You don't resist it. Let's say you are doing meditation and somebody barges on your door. Let's say your child comes and makes noise. Now your meditation goes out of the window. You cannot accept and allow whatever is. So what you do? You see, our internal mind gets disturbed as soon as this kind of small disturbance happens outside of ourselves. We always want things in our own way, right? Now the alternative, the spiritual alternative is you are surrendered to the inner being in a way that whatever noise comes from outside just passes through you. It comes from outside and passes through you, as if you are transparent to it. Now, it doesn't mean that you cannot change things outside of you. In fact, change happens beautifully. Now, when you're connected to your being, the infinite intelligence brings change through you in a beautiful way. So what it do to you, that first it allows and accepts what it is. If those life situations are not suitable for your spiritual evolution, they will be changed effortlessly without the involvement of unnecessary minds, judgments, and analysis. Now let's say, even if acceptance and change are not optimal options, infinite intelligence will remove you from the situation. Now that brings us the fifth way, hearing silence and feeling space. Now hearing the silence outside and feeling the space. Now I'm hearing the silence outside me. And hearing the silence outside me activates the inner stillness in me. Let's hear. I'm hearing the silence. You can hear also. You will become still inside as soon as you hear the silence outside. Immediately you will be connected to your inner being. Hear the silence. And then feel the space. Now this is the space. Everywhere there is a space. Now in the space, there are some objects, like there is a table, there is a chair, there is a painting outside. Now these are like thoughts in our mind. So in our mind there are thoughts which are like those objects in the space. But just feel the space. And when you feel the space, you activate that inner spaciousness within you. Inner spaciousness. So the fifth gateway is hearing the silence and feeling the space. Now these are the 5 gateways. You can use any one gateway, and I would say use the first gateway as explained before. Now next 2 gateways are a bit weird. These are the physical gateways. Realized yogis use them whenever they require it. So the 6th physical gateway is physical intercourse. Now you might be feeling it's very weird. How can somebody use sexual intimacy to enter present moment and realize divinity within themselves? Let me explain. Some of the realized yogis who are married and they have family use this act of physical intercourse in a very sacred way, as if they are conducting prayers. You see, everything is sacred in the universe. It's upon us how conscious we are. Everything is sacred. Now, physical intimacy or making love can be a tremendous spiritual awareness process. How? If you have reached a certain level of maturity and not abusing this act of intercourse, you can intensify your awareness while doing this physical act. In the climax of your act, be extremely alert and aware in the last few seconds and feel the sensation of the inner body and those specific body organs. Now, in the climax of the intercourse, your hormone hijacks your mind for pleasure and you tend to be unconscious. But if in those moments of the climax, of the intercourse, if you become conscious, you will be aware, even when you are angry, fearful or lustful, because in anger, fear and lust, the same hormone is hijacking your mind and making you unconscious, right? Those are the same hormones. So by being conscious during the climax of physical intercourse, you will also remain aware when you become angry and fearful in your day-to-day life. In this way, you are dissolving lots of mind conditionings when you are conscious while doing the act. Now, sexual energy is the fundamental instinct of the body, but occupying your mind with it all the time is the most harmful way to live. So when you remain conscious while doing physical intimacy, next time you are dissolving your mind identification with the unnecessary thoughts of lust. As you become more and more conscious, those hormones don't hijack and occupy your mind after the act. Try this conscious way in the next physical act of yours, but please don't abuse it. Don't understand that this is the only act where you can be spiritual aware. Use any of other 5 previous gateways. The intention is to use all the opportunities and acts of life to awaken spiritually. That is the only intention. Now, the 7th physical gateway is nature's call, or even taking bath. So what are the nature's call? Nature's call are excretion and urination. All the Buddhists use it. When you are relieving yourself from the waste of your body, according to Buddhists, this biological process can dissolve so much mental conditioning when you are conscious while doing this process. So when you go in washroom and you are relieving yourself, just be fully present with the sensation of the body. Feel the contraction and expansion of your inner body while doing the act. This is a great opportunity to come out of your mind and become present. Just be there. And again, lots of conditioning get dissolved. Also, while you are bathing, be absolutely present with all the body sensations. While scrubbing your body, feeling water on your body, the fragrance of the soap, etc. Let's say you are in this process for 5 minutes or 15 minutes. Just be present while taking bath and relieving yourself. Some people read the newspaper or book, or they are on their phone while doing this act. What a waste of an essential day-to-day opportunity. The same process you could have utilized to awaken. Yes? Everything is sacred in life. Everything is sacred in life. Everything is a stepping stone towards spiritual awakening and realizing your divinity.